Okay. Okay, everyone. Sorry for that delay. Okay, everyone. Sorry for that delay. We'll go ahead and make up the time that we missed here. But let's begin. Welcome to our Sunday, August 2nd writing reading class. Hope you had a good week. Just go ahead and give me a one in the chat room to let me know that I'm coming in okay, that you can hear me. Okay, perfect. And so we'll start off with our quote. We'll get into some expansion on that. Then a reading with the quiz. We'll talk about some theories for good writing, introduce a new book, and then wrap up with some vocabulary. All right, so let's discuss our quote. Ken, can you read the quote over on the left side?
Beauty is less what one sees than what one preserves,
Perceives. Perceives.
perceives.
Okay, well, let's discuss this quote for a second. What do you think the meaning of this quote is? It's a Flemish proverb. Beauty is less what one sees than what one perceives. Alice, any thoughts on this quote and the
Uh,
meaning?
what does perceives means?
Perceive. Anyone know what perceives means? Perceives means to look at something or to see something through your eye, through your vision. Each person's perception, the noun form of perceive, each person's perception could be the same or it could be different. Ethan, any thoughts on the meaning of the quote?
No.
No? Ken?
I don't know.
Well, what this quote is saying is that what we perceive has its own opinion. It's neither right nor it's wrong. But what someone else might perceive is their opinion, which is neither right or wrong. So sometimes we might share the same perception as someone else, but sometimes we may not. So what this quote is saying is also another famous quote is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which means that we all perceive beauty as something different. And that is absolutely fine. Perception is all about your interpretation of what you see or what you experience. Well, today we are going to be talking about beauty. Follow along as we read about this author's viewpoint on the concept of beauty. Beauty has varied throughout time, various cultures, and the vast different perceptions of the world. Beauty has been described and depicted through pictures and concepts penetrating our mind. Beauty has been defined in so many ways. What I have discovered is that beauty is simple. Beauty is happiness. It's the moments we feel proud and imminent. It's the moments we feel alive. It seems like that element should be inherent, but it isn't. Beauty is often distorted, misunderstood, and shadowed by a wide amount of conflicting pressures. It is something we endlessly strive for, rather than see in its true essence of our happiest moments. These are the times when I feel most beautiful because I'm alive, not because of what an exterior image has brainwashed me to believe. It's the true ecstasy of falling in love with people and places in a magically easy way. It's the way it feels to achieve a goal you've worked tirelessly to achieve. It's the wrinkles from every effortless smile and furrowed burrow of strength that make a face perfect. We are all unique people with experiences and memories that tie together seamlessly in a blanket of our own versions of beauty. We are different shapes, sizes, colors, and heritage. We are activists, innovators, achievers, and inspirations. We are the lives and change we create, and that is beauty. Our bodies are simply a shell that allows us to radiate these experiences and accomplishments through. Now, let's see if we can focus on finding three questions from the text. Number one, what does the author feel beauty is? Number two, why is beauty often misunderstood? And then finally, number three, what are some things you find beautiful and why? Now, I'll copy all three questions over to the chat room right now that you can refer to, and then I'll go back to the reading so that you can find the answers. Once you've found all the answers, go ahead and raise your hand, or we'll start discussing once the time is up. Okay, let's see if we can answer some of the questions from the text. Ellis, can you tell me what does the author feel beauty is?
Uh, the author feel beauty has been described and depicted through pictures and concepts penetrating our minds.
Okay, now is that text directly from the reading? It sounds like it was word from word,
Yes.
but what does that mean?
Mm, I think it's like beauty is mm, show uh was showed in pictures, and we see beautiful pictures, and we feel like it is we feel like there is beauty.
Okay, but that's not the exact point that the author was trying to make in this in the writing. Ethan, what does the author feel beauty is?
The author feels that beauty is happiness, I think.
That's correct. And what does that mean? What can you elaborate what about happiness? What creates happiness? What
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
the moment we feel proud and we feel alive.
Yep, exactly. So what the author was saying is that if you feel happy about something, if you feel proud about something, that is beautiful. That is what is going to be defined. Once again, as we were talking about from our quote, people's version of beauty, people's perception of beauty can be different. But at the root of it, it's a sense of happiness. It's the things that we do, that we see, that we experience that make us happy. That's beautiful. Ken, why is beauty often misunderstood?
Uh, Beauty is often misunderstood on the first paragraph. Misunderstood or stress. It's saying beauty is often misunderstood.
Do you need some help?
Yeah.
Alice? Why is beauty often misunderstood?
I don't know.
Ethan?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
let's take a look at the second paragraph. Anyone see in the second paragraph? What does it mean if we take a look at the second sentence? It says, "These are times when I feel most beautiful and alive, not because of what an exterior image has brainwashed me to believe." What does that mean? What does that mean? An exterior image has brainwashed me to believe. Ken, any idea?
Uh, to force you to love?
Not necessarily force. What did you mean?
Like when you're saying brainwash means wipe out all your memory and let you believe.
Okay, so what in a sense, if we think of beauty in the world we live in, what would be brainwashing with that?
Mm, means making you think.
Okay, making you think or telling you what is beautiful. And in fact, that's actually been something that when we think about beauty or we think about the beauty industry, for example, we could say women oftentimes throughout history have been told too that they need to look or they need to dress a certain way or that they have to wear a certain amount of makeup. Same thing with men. Men have been told this is the way that you're supposed to dress. This is the way that you're supposed to act. This is what we call what is actually beautiful. But that can vary. That can vary from what you believe. So when we think about being brainwashed, if we think, okay, well, this is what I was told by society, it, what is beautiful. For example, right now, sometimes people feel that beauty is in how much you weigh. But is that really the truth?
Uh,
No, it's not. So we have to be careful about when we think about beauty, we have to define beauty in our own perception. And that perception is not wrong, even though it may not meet or be the same standard that society puts out. So let's talk about that. Let's think about things that you find beautiful and why. Alice, let's start with you. Tell me one or two things that you find beautiful.
mm, maybe like um Van Gogh's drawing.
Okay, and why do you find that beautiful?
Mm, because I think his his drawings express some like beautiful feelings to me.
Beautiful
And
moments,
no, beautiful feelings.
beautiful feelings. Or what sort of
Yeah.
feelings?
Um, like calm, happiness.
Okay, excellent. All right. Ethan, how about you?
Like winning, a game or like sports or staying with my family.
Spending time with your family?
Yeah.
Excellent. And why is that, why do you find that beautiful?
Like I feel very happy.
Excellent. Excellent. How about for you, Ken?
I find beautiful sights
Such as?
like if you're gonna say the Great Barrier Reef. It's unique and it's very beautiful underneath. It's very wildish. No, it's the coral. No, it's very colorful and yeah. That I just like some sightings and ex and example. When my dad beats everyone in Civilization 7, defeats every single other civilizations, and he wins the game. This is a wonderful sight too,
And why is that?
because it's very unique to happen. Like it only happened once, and it never happened again.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So as you all just mentioned here, you all had different things that you found beautiful, and all of that is wonderful. So the lesson or the thing to remember to take from this is that what you find beautiful might be different from someone else, and that's okay. And also to understand that it's okay if you do not always agree with what maybe society tells you is beautiful. If you find it beautiful and if it makes you feel happy, then that's a wonderful thing. And that's okay. All right, well, we had some vocabulary words from the text. Imminent, distorted, essence, brainwashed, and furrowed. So I'd like for you to see if you can take two of the vocabulary words and try to use them in a sentence. Once you have your sentence, you can submit it to me privately in the chat room, and then we'll take a look at the sentences to make sure the meaning is correct. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the sentences coming in. If you want to submit, just go ahead and start to wrap up. Let's see, Ken, you wrote, our government brainwashed everyone in town to get a furrowed. Okay, your first part of the phrase works well. Brainwashed, meaning that they tried to say one thing that maybe wasn't true. And now furrow is actually a adjective. And we tend to talk about furrowed when we talk about the face. So can you figure out a way that maybe this could work?
We could add forehead behind furrowed.
Okay. So how would that make sense with your sentence? Why would people have a furrowed forehead?
Well, the government just say so.
I'm sorry? Let me give you an idea. Now, why would someone furrow their face? Why would they have a furrowed look on their face? How are they feeling?
The government think
Now, if someone has for example, a furrowed forehead, how are they feeling? How would they be feeling if they did that?
itchy.
Would they be
No,
happy? Would they be angry? Would they be sad?
some dude. I'm muted. I'm literally the teacher can hear me.
No. So so Ken, did you hear my question?
Okay.
Can you hear me, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone has a furrowed forehead, what emotion are they feeling?
Some people are
Uh,
happy, some people are not happy
no,
about it.
yeah, no. People would, if we furrow our brow, for example, it's because we're either upset about something in many cases, or maybe we're trying to concentrate on something. So maybe in your story, we could say that people were upset because the government tried to brain us. So how about we add a piece that makes this word work better? Um, Many people had furrowed foreheads in frustration or out of frustration when they discovered that the government had brainwashed everyone in the town. Now, the reason I added had is because we're talking about two actions and one action happened before the other. So we use the past perfect tense, had plus the past participle, in order to make that work. But now your storyline makes more sense and your use of the word furrowed works correctly. All right, good. Let's take a look at Ethan's. You wrote, after he was brainwashed by his enemy, he was furrowed. So that's the same idea. So furrowed needs to be something associated with the brow or the forehead. So what emotion did he feel, Ethan? What emotion did he feel?
He felt a little bit, he didn't know, why he was and a little frustrated.
Okay. So was he angry? Maybe we can use another word besides frustrated since I used that one. And he was maybe angry and furrowed his brow. Does everyone understand what furrowed brow is? I just want to make sure that we understand this. So I'm let's take a quick peek so everyone understands what furrowed means. For example, a furrowed brow. Okay, everyone see the image that I brought up here? Alice, are you able to see the images?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is an example of a furrowed brow. So as you can see, this look, people might feel angry, they might feel confused, they might be trying to concentrate, but that's what furrowed means. And we associate with the forehead the or our eyebrows. Okay. All right, let's take a look at yours, Alice, what you wrote. You said the local council brainwashed their citizens and they were furrowed. Okay, so similar. Um, we need to express what emotion, and then we can say that what action they did. And they were, maybe we could say upset and furrowed their forehead. And now this works. Okay. Great, excellent. So everyone, let's talk for a second about the difference in the time periods of each of these sentences. If I had gone to medical school, I would now be a doctor. If I spoke Spanish, I could have graduated in Venezuela. So let's talk about the first one. In this sentence, there are two periods of time that we're discussing. What are the two periods of time? What is the time for the first part of the sentence? Is it happening in the past, the present, future? Who can explain for the first sentence? Ken?
Past.
No, the whole thing is not in the past.
If I had gone to medical school, I would be a doctor. To regret.
No, I'm asking about the time periods. Anyone else have an
Present.
idea?
Present.
Which part is which?
The
Okay, so let's look at the first one together. If I had gone to medical school, so if I had done something in the past, I would now be a doctor. I would now be a doctor in the present. So this sentence has a past action that has affected a present situation. Now let's look at the second. If I spoke Spanish, I could have graduated in Venezuela. What are the time periods here? Ethan, any idea? Alice, any idea?
I don't know.
Maybe it's like uh in the past I I don't spoke Spanish, but now I spoke Spanish.
Well, no,
And
this, oh, continue.
and in the past, uh because I don't spoke Spanish, so in the past I haven't graduated in Venezuela.
Okay, so this is the opposite. If I spoke Spanish, which is talking about right now in the present, I could have graduated in Venezuela. It was talking about something from the past. What we have here is called mixed conditionals, where we're saying that a past action affected a present situation or a present situation affected a past action. Now, as we've studied conditionals before, what we're dealing with is the second and the third conditionals. So we're still thinking about the opposite of what actually happened, but it's the opposite of what actually happened in the past that affects the present, or the present and what actually happened affected the past. So forming mixed conditionals, you're going to be always using the third and the second conditional. The third conditional being an action in the past wishing the opposite had occurred, and then the second conditional being an action in the present that we're trying to describe. Let's see if we can try an example of this. Let's look at the example that's given first. We have a scenario here. Tim overslept on the train. He isn't with us now. The oversleeping happened on the train before in the past. The current situation that is he is not with us now. So we want to state the opposite of this. If Tim hadn't overslept, he would be with us now. So we're stating the opposite of what actually happened but the first part is in the past and the second part is in the present. Remember, that could be reversed as well. Let's look at example number 1. Mary doesn't know how to play badminton. We didn't invite her to play with us. Which part, if we were to say this, is the present part? Is it the first sentence or the second, which is the present part? Is it the first sentence or the second, which is the part in the present? Alice?
Mm.
Is it the first sentence or the second part of the sentence? Which is in present?
Sorry, which sentence?
Number 1.
Okay. The second part.
No, the first part. It says doesn't know. That's present tense. The
Oh.
second part of the sentence says didn't, which is past tense.
Okay.
So what that tells you is that when we make our statement, we need to use the second conditional to describe the opposite of the first half. And then we're going to use the third conditional to describe the opposite of the second sentence. Who can put this into a mixed conditional? Mary doesn't know how to play badminton. We didn't invite her to play. Ethan, any idea?
If Mary knows how to make
Oh,
how to
we're going to use second conditional or third conditional. If Mary knew.
if Mary knew how to play badminton, we we will invite her to play with us.
Not will, because that's future.
Would
We would, third conditional, would.
invite her.
So you're looking with the second one, because what we decided is that we have to do second conditional and third conditional. So it's the bottom half. What do you see in the formation there? If Mary knew, which is past simple, we would
have invite her.
we would have invited her. We would have invited her to play with us. If Mary knew how to play badminton, we would have invited her to play with us. Let's try the next one. First thing we want to do is find out which part is the present and which is the past. We don't have access to the company's network. We couldn't enter the data yesterday. Which part is the present? Which part is the past? Ken.
The first one is present.
That's correct. And the second part is past. Are you able to put this into a conditional, a mixed conditional? You're going to follow the same process as the last one we did, which is second plus third. So we're using if plus the past simple and would have plus the past participle.
Okay. Let's see. If we would have access.
No. So you're using the past simple. You're stating the opposite of what you see, what happened, using the past simple. So it says we don't have access to the company's network. Now we want to say the opposite using the past simple.
If we do have
Past simple. If plus the past simple. What's the past simple of have?
Past simple of have. Had.
If we had.
If we had access to the company's work, we
Now you're going to be
could
using, now you're going to be using could.
have entered the data yesterday.
Very good. If we had access to the company's network, we could have entered the data yesterday. Let's try one more to help solidify this. I spent too much on holiday. I'm broke now. Which part is the past? Which part is the present? Alice. Which part?
I'm broke now is the present,
Correct.
and I spent too much on holiday is the past.
Correct. So now what we have to use is we have to use the formula on top. If plus the past perfect, and then would plus the base verb. You want to try?
So if I if I hadn't spent too much on holiday, uh I won't be broke now.
You want to use the would plus the base verb.
I won't break now.
Won't is a future. You have to use would.
Oh, I wouldn't break now.
I wouldn't be. The be
Break.
verb. I wouldn't be.
Break.
I wouldn't be.
Break now.
No, I wouldn't be broke now. The verb is the be verb. I am.
Okay.
I wouldn't be broke now. If I hadn't spent. Now you have hadn't, which is negative. We can't do hadn't with to. What does to become?
Two.
TOO. What does that become? We can't because we can't have a double negative.
Mm-hmm.
What's the opposite of two? What's the positive of two? So
Oh,
if I hadn't spent so much money on holiday, I wouldn't be broke now. If I hadn't spent so much money on holiday, I wouldn't be broke now. Now, what I'd like for you to try is I want you to try to create a mixed conditional. See if you can create a mixed conditional for both, where you have the second conditional and then the third conditional. So you're talking about a current situation that affected a past situation. And also try the third conditional and the second conditional, where a past situation affected a current situation. I'll go back to the chart as a guide. Don't use any of the examples. Make your own sentence. But see if you can create a mixed conditional for one for each. Once you have yours, you can submit it to me privately in the chat room, and then we'll take a look and discuss. Okay, let's take a look and see if we can look at some of the responses you're sending in. If you want to submit, just go ahead and start to wrap up. Alice, you wrote, if she hadn't opened that strange box that contained TNT, uncountable, so we don't need a. She wouldn't be in the hospital now. Good. If she hadn't went out at that time, I would have been cleaned now. Can you explain your second? I'm not quite sure I understand the sentence.
It's like uh I I went out at uh at
So the thing is though, your first half is in the past, right? That's the same as your first sentence. What you want to state is something that's in the current situation that affected something in the past. So your second one doesn't work because it's the same. Your if is in the past. Your if should be in the present. You want to try working on your second one?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, try a different sentence there. Ethan, let's take a look at yours. You said if I hadn't had a test later. No, yours is just a regular third conditional. What we're doing with mixed conditionals is we're mixing one half as the third conditional and the second half as the second conditional, or vice versa. But yours is everything is in the past. So this one doesn't work. Why don't you try another one there, and then we'll give it a shot. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the ones you wrote, Ethan. Ethan, you wrote, if I knew that I had a test, I would have studied. Perfect, good. If I had known, if I had known I had a test, I would study. Very good. Yep, both of these work. Very similar in the meaning, but the different time periods in time reflect something that you're currently doing or something that you already did. Very good. All right, everyone. So we have a new book this week. This is The Last Kids on Earth. Here's a little bit about the author of the book and then a short description. This week, think about how we discuss the meaning and uses of mixed conditionals and also our new vocabulary. For your writing, I want you to ask yourself, who is the funniest person you know? What about them makes you laugh? Write no more than 400 words, and you can submit that to the form within the next 7 days for edits. On the page afterwards, you'll find the words of the day to complete and the answer key to check your answer. I'll go ahead and copy over today's link. If you'd like to get started with any of the exercises, just go ahead and click on the link and then request access. Ken, it looks like you just sent a couple in real quick. Let me take a quick look at those. You said Harry didn't do his homework. If Harry had done his homework, he wouldn't be punished. Yeah, he wouldn't be punished now. He wouldn't be punished now. So the first part of this scenario doesn't work because you said he got punished at school yesterday, but yesterday is in the past. So I'm going to get rid of that part, but this part is one of the ones because we're talking about a past action that is affecting a current situation, which is the third and the second combined. So that one does work. All right, everyone. Any questions before we wrap up? All right, then I will see you all next week. Have a great week. Bye now.
Have a nice day.
You
Have a
too.
Bye.
nice day.
Bye.